In this tutorial, I'll show you how to make a light, crispy, and marshmallowy pavlova with stabilized whipped cream and fresh fruit. I'm Kat, owner of Charmin Chic Baking, and welcome to my channel. For the pavlova shells, you'll need fresh egg whites, not egg whites from a carton, superfine sugar, or you can make your own by grinding white sugar in a food processor, cornstarch, salt, cream of tartar, and vanilla. For the stabilized whipped cream, you'll need heavy cream, icing sugar, gelatin, and vanilla. Then, any assortment of fresh fruit. Traditional pavlova uses kiwis as it was invented in Australia, but I prefer berries and tropical fruits. Start by preheating your oven to 300 Fahrenheit. We're going to then lower the temperature once the pavlovas are ready to bake. Start by beating the room temperature egg whites with the cream of tartar until soft peaks form. Then add in the sugar 1 tablespoon at a time until all incorporated. Superfine sugar dissolves quicker, resulting in a finer, velvety, and smoother texture, which contributes to the delicate, crisp outer shell and the soft marshmallow-like interior, which is characteristic of a perfect pavlova. Using superfine sugar also helps to stabilize the whipped egg whites, maintaining their structure and preventing them from collapsing. This is crucial for achieving the high, airy form of the pavlova. And finally, superfine sugar granules help to produce a glossy, shiny finish on the meringue, enhancing its visual appeal. Next, add the vanilla extract and continue mixing until well incorporated. Check the consistency for stiff peaks, if not, continue mixing. Let the mixer go for another 10 minutes after this point. This is the stiff peaks consistency you're aiming for. I wanted to show you what happens when you don't use fresh eggs. These were separated 2 weeks ago and kept refrigerated, but they just didn't want to whip. Even after 10 minutes of whipping, they stayed liquidy, so ensure you're using fresh eggs. So back to our good egg whites, sprinkle on the cornstarch and fold it into the mixture. Use a spatula to gently incorporate it to avoid deflating the egg whites. You can then either form the shells freehand with a spoon or pipe it. I'm using a pastry bag fitted with a large star tip. I'm making individual Pavlovas that are 4 inches in diameter, so I traced 6 circles on parchment paper, flipped it over, and attached it to a baking sheet with a bit of the mixture on all 4 corners. You can also make 1 large 8-inch Pavlova. Then pipe circles, holding the bag vertically, going around 3 times for each Pavlova to create a wall. Then fill in the shells with a meringue. Then fill in the shells with a meringue. I'm using an offset spatula to smooth the bottoms and ensure there are no holes or gaps at the bottom. Before baking the Pavlovas, turn the heat down to 200 degrees Celsius and then bake the shells for 1 hour. If after 30 minutes you notice any brown spots on one side, you can rotate the tray. This is what the shells look like after 1 hour, still white. Keep them in the oven to dry out with the door ajar. The shells look beautiful and white throughout. They come off easily from the parchment paper and have no cracks. I'm going to cut one open to show you the texture. Soft and marshmallowy on the inside and crispy on the outside, just perfect. To make the stabilized whipped cream, you'll need to start by blooming the gelatin in cold water and let it sit for 10 minutes. To make the stabilized whipped cream, you'll need to start by blooming the gelatin in cold water and let it sit for 10 minutes. To make the stabilized whipped cream, you'll need to then microwave for only 10 seconds to liquefy. In a large bowl, pour in the cold cream. Then add in the sifted icing sugar and vanilla. Beat at low speed at the beginning. Continue beating until you reach soft peaks. Then slowly pour in the gelatin while beating. Continue to beat at high speed until you reach stiff peaks. Then cover and chill until ready to serve. To assemble the Pavlovas, spoon in the whipped cream, or you can re-whip it and pipe it in with a pastry bag. This whipped cream has a marshmallow-like texture which matches the Pavlova. Then add in your fruit. And top each with a whole strawberry cut in half. You can make the meringue shells a few days ahead of time and keep them wrapped in cello in a cool place away from moisture. Stabilized whipped cream also keeps for a few days in the fridge, so this dessert is great to make when you have last-minute guests. Thank you for watching and happy baking!